the topic because I was occupied until now.
Okay.
Okay, let's take continuation from yesterday. Today is part 2.
Oh, good. Compliments.
Yes. Now, how to learn to see the good in the other person. You know, usually we always can detect right away what is wrong in the other person. But when it comes to the good side, we're very slow, actually. And it creates many problems, huge problems. Especially when it comes to Shlom Bayit. All day long, I hear negative stuff. He is like that, she's like that, he's like that, she's like that, she's like this, she's like that, she's a klafte, she's a nebech, she's a this, or that. So right away, I will ask, is there something good in the person that you chose to get married to? Either you blind or you retarded. Where were you?
What attracted you to her or to him?
I don't know.
Has to be more than just the physical. You never know.
Now I'm curious, if it's so bad, where were you? Or if it's a child, don't your child have a good side to him? Yes, there are kids, sometimes they can annoy you and do things, but our job is to hold ourselves for a second and say, wait a minute. Let's concentrate on the positive of this child. We're losing ourselves, we're losing. We're losing control of ourselves. So we have to learn how to control ourselves and to think what is so good in this child that I have, or this wife or husband that I have. There is something. I don't know if you recall, but before I'll tell you the story that I want to tell you that it did happen, where you prefer to be? In what company? That they saying always compliments to each other, or they criticizing each other? Where is more pleasant to be?
With compliments.
Positive people, to be with positive people.
Right?
Optimism. We want to be with optimistic people.
Have a good outlook. People have a good outlook on life.
It's completely different atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
And it's comfortable, you can open up to such people. When somebody wants to criticize you, right away, you're blocking yourself and you're closing yourself. Well, so I read this in the newspaper called Yated Ne'eman. And I think I told you once, but I'll tell you again. It was a Bahur, a very, very good one, that in every yeshiva that he was, they say he has a future ahead of him. He'll be somebody big. And now he already finished high school and so on. Now he's going to yeshiva, as we say in Eretz Israel, yeshiva gedola. It's already post high school. No, the parents in the Zman of Elul, they escorted him to the yeshiva, with their tears. We wish you atzlacha and so on. And few years passed, 2-3 years, and one day this child is coming back home. He has a very sharp pain in his neck. They did test left and right. They don't find anything. So now they send him to more tests, deeper one. And bingo, they found out that he has the sickness in a stage already, stage 4. They sent him back home, of course, from the yeshiva. And he didn't come home, of course. He went right away to the hospital. And now start chemotherapy. And the parents, they didn't know even how to digest it. Time went by. And the chemo were a very sharp one, devastating one. And the child couldn't take it. The body was not able to take it. And the cancer went all over the body. It's only a question of time. The doctors are saying, we have nothing to do. The parents didn't want to tell it to the child, but the child was too wise and he understood what's going on. He was not scared. He was a person. And he started to talk to his parents on the day after. After he passes away, how they should behave. And he wants now to use every day to the maximum capacity to prepare to go upstairs לעולם האמת. One day, only the father was in the room with the child. The child saying to his Abba, Abba, I need to talk to you. I want to ask you something. Okay. And the child opened up his eyes, looked at his Abba, and he told him, I'm very close to my last day. I know that. I feel it. And I know that probably you want to make me a very big funeral. I wanted to ask you, I have a request. And the request is, in my funeral, nobody should say the eulogy, only one person that I have in my mind. My 10th grade Rabbi. 10th grade? It was 8 years ago. How he came into your mind. He said, I owe him all my Torah that I learned and everything that I developed to be what I am is because of him. I want him to talk, nobody else. And the father told him, what are you talking about? Everybody is praying for you. You're going to come out of it. He says, okay, fine. I'm not going to now get into discussion, but I said, but after, if something will happen, that's what is my last request. Okay. Few days passed. And he's saying to his parents that are in the room, please don't worry for me. I'm changing my living place. I'm going to Olam, to a world that everything is good. And Hashem should send you refuah to the pain that you're going to have. Please be strong. Don't worry about me. I'm going back to my original father, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And he says, don't forget my request. Only my 10th grade Rabbi should say the eulogy for me. Nobody else. All of a sudden, he started to choke. And he fell on the pillow. And the doctors ran in the room. And they're saying to everybody, this is it. The neshama is coming out. Please say Shema Israel. And everybody in the room said Shema Israel. They made the vidui, and the neshama went up. So now they have to prepare for the funeral. One of the rabbis was a volunteer to go to the 10th grade Rabbi and to tell him that he will be the one to speak. The 10th grade Rabbi didn't know Bichlal that he was sick. When the Shaliach, when the messenger told him that he passed away, he lost his mind. He started to cry. He said, how come nobody told me? He said, I remember in my class all the difficulties that he had. How much he tried, and then he became very successful. I remember everything. I remember. And they told him, his will what? That you will be the one to say the eulogy. He said, oh, why me? Most probably all the Gdolim of Am Israel will be there. Can I speak next to them? He said, maybe it's a mistake. He said, I don't remember something special that I did for this boy. So he said, let me go talk to the parents. He came to the house of the parents right before the funeral starting. The father saw him. He approached him and he gave him a small paper that his son gave him to give to the Rabbi. He said, when my son asked me to tell you to be the only one to make the eulogy, he gave me this paper. He said, give it to my Rabbi. He will know what it means. And he told me not to read it. So the same way I took it from his wallet, I'm giving it to you. I don't know what's inside. He said, you're the only one who will know what's inside. And he said, my son said that he owes you all his spiritual life is because of you. He opened up the paper. He started to smile a little bit, even though around him, everybody was crying. He looked at the paper and he started to smile to himself and said, oh, I know what it is now. He remembered everything now. He remembered when he got this class, it was a difficult class. It was tension in the classroom. It was like a competition. Everybody wanted to compete with anybody else. The atmosphere was not a good one in the classroom. They didn't get along with each other. It was a tough class, very tough. And they didn't like to learn, they were too busy with the competition that they have with each other. He didn't know what to do. He was thinking, what shall I do? I have to change this. Otherwise, this year is going to be a miserable year. I cannot let it happen. Something came into his mind. He said, you know what? That's what I'm going to do. He cut many, many papers. And on each one, he wrote the name of a student. All the students that he had in the classroom, he wrote it. And he gave each student a paper with all the names, and he left an open line. And they didn't know what he wants. So he told them, we can see only the bad side of our friends. I'm giving you 2 days. I want to see what the good that you see in a friend that's sitting next to you. It's in your classroom. What do you see good in him? Write it down next to his name. Because every Bachur have qualities, some we can see, some we don't see, some you can see, and you can tell them you're not fulfilling the talent that you have. So he said, I'm giving it to you, take it home, concentrate, be truthful, and write next to each name what could you see in the Bachur. They took the challenge. After a few days, they came back with the papers. Now he took it home. Now he have to do homework. The Rabbi. In every page, now he took new papers and he put the name of the student and he sang, Chaim said about you this and this. Moshe said about you this and this. Meir said about you this and this and this. These are all your good things that you have inside. Each one saw him from a different angle. So imagine a boy getting a paper into his hand with 20 names, and every name they're saying how good he is, not how bad he is, how good he is. And each one saw something else in him. Pitom he got a big picture that he has so much good in him. And so he gave each one, the Rabbi, he gave each one a paper with all the good qualities that his friend said about him. And he wrote down, Dalecha, you have to know that if other boys thinking about you, that this is your qualities, for sure that they existing in you. If you know how to utilize it, if you will know how to utilize them, in the future you're going to be a very big Talmid Chacham Be'am Yisrael. Huge. But you have to know how to capitalize on them, how to utilize it, how to use it in the good qualities that your friend wrote about you. Not you writing about yourself. Your friend wrote about you. He said, then he remembered that the classroom changed dramatically. Pitom, they all became friends. He said, from the worst class, they became the best class I ever had. and each one knew what he is good at, and they start to develop it and work on it, and they started to blossom unbelievably. So now the Rabbi, after so many years, he said, wow, one idea of mine built so many students of mine, because I emphasized what is good in them, not what bad in them. Good. So in the funeral, he spoke from his bottom of his heart about this boy, what type of a boy he was. But yet he didn't know yet how much the paper that he gave, how much influence they made. He came during the Shiva to comfort the parents. And he saw all the students that he had in the classroom were there. And everybody came and says, here is the paper that you gave us. Each one of them kept the paper in his wallet. Do you hear me? Each one of them took the paper, they didn't throw it to the garbage. They left it there. If they feel bad about themselves, right away they take the paper out, they look at it and say, why do I feel bad about myself? Look what my friend's saying about me. So I worth something. I am somebody. So the newspaper that is well known, that every word there is not like the New York Times, right? They know what they saying. He said, many of the classmates of this boy today, they are the biggest Rashi Yeshivot in Jerusalem, Bnei Brak. The biggest people that we know were in this classroom. And they're all saying this idea of the Rabbi made them who they are. Could you imagine what this Rabbi did? How many zechuyot does he have for one idea that he came up with? To say to the friends, you tell me what's good by your friend. And I have a secret to tell you. I'm using it until now. When a couple come to me, I hear, I say, okay, I heard you. Next time when you're coming over here, you write what good in your husband, and you write for me, please, what good you see in your wife. And we're going to discuss it. I'm telling you, it worked like a magic. Like a magic. Pitom she's seeing things that she never knew that he bechlal seeing it. But he wrote it down. And she's saying about him things that he didn't know bechlal, that she noticed. So now, do they have to fight now? When I read this, I jumped up and down and said, where was I? Such a good idea, somebody else telling you what you're good at. You don't need more than that. I can bribe myself. I can see, but the people outside, they see exactly. So our job is and I will say it in Hebrew and I will translate. שנראה כל אחד מעלת חברינו. We should see each one of us the good qualities of our friends. ולא חסרונם, and not what they're missing. That's a big thing. The Admor Mevizhnitz, the Admor, he was well known, באהבת Israel, he loved every Jew, no matter who you are. So they asked him, how come you loving Jews that not keeping no Torah, no mitzvot? He said, I'll better be judged upstairs after I'll go to the world there. They'll better judge me for ahavat chinam than sinat chinam. I'll better be judged, why did you love every Jew? Instead of, why did you hate most of the Jews? So he wrote, he by himself, he wrote, also a Jew that got far away from Torah and the mitzvot. You have to accept him with warmth and with love, because at the end, he will do tshuva. Today, at noontime, I said something. I don't know if you were in the class. If you throw something to the river, and the river is, let's say you threw a chair, is the chair will stay there or the river will push it out back to the shore?
The river will push it.
Even if it's a body of a person, at the end you're going to see it on shore. The water will kick it out. What is the only thing that the river will not kick out?
More water. No?
A piece of ice.
Oh, it's close.
You're very close. A piece of ice. Why not? Even if it's huge amount of ice, the sea or the river will accept it. It will not throw it out. Why? He will around them and around them, this and that and this and that, until he will melt and it will be part of the river. Yes? Why? Because the water knows this is our brother. He's not like a body It's not like a chair. It's not like anything else that we have nothing to do with that. This is one of us. It's water that got frozen. So let's melt him down. And so, because a brother always will stay a brother. Always. So a Jew that got far away from Judaism became piece of ice. He's an ice. What do we have to do?
Warm him up.
Melt him.
Melt him. Yes, yes.
Show him the beauty of Judaism.
Until he will melt, and pitom you see a different Jew. You remember all the stories of the Bardichover, Rav Levi Yitzchak Bardichev, right? He was the lawyer of Am Israel,
The advocate.
the advocate. Yes. They saying one day in Tisha B'Av, he is walking after the shul, after the kinot. Pitom he sees a Jew sitting on the terrace and eating on Tisha B'Av. So he came close to him. He told him, Rabbi Yehudi, landsman, probably you forgot that today is Tisha B'Av. No? He said, no, I didn't forget. He's still chewing, and he's saying, no, I know it's Tisha B'Av today. And he's keep eating. So he said, maybe you don't know that Tisha B'Av is a fasting day? He said, no. Rabbi, I was in Cheder. I know what Tisha B'Av means. I know we have to fast today. So the Rav told him, so I assume that you don't feel well and the doctor ordered you to eat. And he answered back and said, Alevai, I'll be as healthy as today all my life. I'm strong as a bull. What a chutzpah, huh? If somebody will answer us this kind of answers, what are we going to call him? Huh? A shaygetz? A shaygetz, no? Rav Levi Yitzchak lift up his eyes to the sky, and he's saying to Hashem, Ribono shel olam, the Almighty, look from the sky and see how much the midah of the emet is mamash kara engraved into a Jew. This Jew that eating now is more comfortable for him to make himself a sinner, but he will not lie to me. He's saying the truth. What went on over here? What went on? What Rav Levi Yitzchak did?
He
Turned it
just
around.
saw what you got.
What? Was he emphasizing on the sin or he was emphasizing on the good? You don't know?
The good. He was telling Hashem, judge him favorably.
Why?
He's Hashem,
Why?
because that's what we need to judge. That's what we need to look at.
What did he say to Hashem? He's saying to Hashem, you see, he's ready to make himself a sinner. Didn't say any excuses. He could have told me, the doctor told me I have to eat. He said, no,
He wouldn't
I'm
lie.
fine. He's saying to Hashem, you see how good he is? As a midah shel emet he has, right? He cannot even lie. Look how good he is. So now, if your child will come home and you're going to ask him, do you have homework? What do you prefer? That he'll tell you, yes, and I don't want to do it? Or he'll tell you, no, the teacher didn't come today. And he had homework, and the teacher came. What do you prefer?
You want him to tell the truth. Yeah. Always. You should tell the truth.
So, are we going to say to ourselves, at least this child saying the truth? I have homework and I don't want to do it. So what will happen if Ima will say, you're such a tzaddik? You're saying the truth. I'm so proud of you. You have homework and you say, I don't have a cheshek to do it. Okay, good. We appreciate that you're saying the truth. You know what will happen? No?
They'll end up doing the homework.
That's number one. Number two, the communication channel with the parents will always stay open. Because he said, no matter what I say, my parents find something, a compliment to tell me. Instead of criticizing me, to tell me you're lazy, you have to do homework, yes?
Right.
Harav, what is the source of that negative? Where's it coming from that we jump on the negative first? Where's it coming from? Is it like no gratitude? Is it taking things for granted? We don't appreciate what we have?
I'll tell you where it's coming from. Because we are like that. So when you are like that, right away, you detected by the other person. You can feel because you are like that. If you are not like that, you're not going to see it. So if you see only the bad side by the other one, so you have to sit down with yourself and do a big cheshbon. when I'm looking at him, I'm looking at the mirror. That's me. That's why right away I can relate to it. Yes? So we have to work on ourselves. Work means to start to see the good in ourselves also. Sometimes we are harsh on ourselves too. I know people all the time, they don't give themselves even one bit of a credit. And by men, they're doing very well. Why are you doing it to yourself? Give yourself a credit also. You know, how many times I told you, right? How many times? Today, to stay religious, close to Hashem, keeping the mitzvot, you don't know even how much enjoyment I have from all the questions that I've been asked on the chat for Pesach. To some people, it will look like, what they're asking me comments. What do they want from me? No. I said, look how much they care. Look how much good they want to be. They want everything to be so correct. I have enjoyment from this. I'll tell you the truth. To give a child a haircut in Sfirat HaOmer, not to give a child, can I go to a wedding, not to go to a wedding? People say, come on, no. 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 You see, they taught us to see the good in it, how much a person cares. And in such a generation of lowlifes, Efkerut, anarchy, they're doing whatever they want. If there is a person that's so particular, he wants to do things, but he deserves all the medals that I can give. Why can't we see it?
Especially Harab, most of these people did not grow up with it. It's a challenge. They don't have a rabbi. They don't have parents.
Correct.
They don't have any family. They're just, it's climbing a cliff for them. It's not an easy thing for most of them.
They deserve all the respect in the world. They don't know how important they are in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Because they want it so much. They want it genuinely, they want it so much.
You know, when I'm teaching Shir HaShirim, you know, on every Wednesday, it's mind-boggling. Mind-boggling what Shlomo HaMelech wrote. It's unbelievable what he writes. He says every mitzvah that a Jew does, it's like a necklace on the neck of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We don't see it. But in such a crazy world, imagine a lady ready to cover her hair, to go tzanua, and to do what she had to do. It's unbelievable. Bemet. I have so much respect to these people. You can't even imagine how much respect I have for them. And how much admiration I have. They didn't go to schools that I went to, they never learned from day one. They came in the latest time, okay? And they're so sincere, they want to do everything. What do you think? Hashem don't see it. Hashem is enjoying it. You can imagine how much he's enjoying it. Today I said that Hashem remembered us. זכרתי לך חסד נעורייך, אהבת כלולותייך, לכתך אחריי במדבר בארץ לא זרועה. Hashem said to Am Israel, to us, I remember the chesed that you did to me. We doing chesed to Hashem. Chesed neurayich, when you were still young. Ahavat kilulotayich, when we got married. How much love we had for each other. For what? Because you accepted to go to the desert. In a place that there is no food. Nothing grows in the desert. No doctors, no hospitals, no klum. You went after me with no hesitations. You think I'm going to forget it? Because of this zechut, I will bring the Mashiach and the Bet HaMikdash will come back. Why? Because we went after Hashem in the desert. Desert. Aren't we today in a desert? Desert. Wherever you turn, desert. And we got into the desert and we're going over here and Hashem leading us, protecting us, showing us. Why? Because he sees that we want him. He wants our mitzvot, not because of the mitzvah. What's behind the mitzvah? Hashem, I don't know how to get close to you, so let me make the mitzvot. I should not miss anything. I can go on and on and on. No one should cut himself out. No one should count himself out. Every one here is a piece of jewelry on the neck of Hashem. Because Hashem taking it as action of love. And imagine you want to bring more people into Hashem. Who can stand even next to you? I can tell you a compliment until tomorrow. And I mean it. Because in front of Hashem, each one of you is very important. You have to know that. And we have to act accordingly. So every Jew is a diamond. Some need more polish. Some already polished. But imagine if you take one friend of yours, you bring him to a shiur, to a shiur, and he says, you know what, I'll accept one or two mitzvot upon myself. Today I saw a clip. If I will not see it in my own eye, I will never believe it. There is a yeshiva in Bnei Brak called Netivot Olam. Very high quality, educated people. All of them were not observant at all. You see over there pilots, actors, singers, people, from a high society, but they're intelligent and they saw something, they heard something, and they got to the yeshiva, and from there on, they're not going out. Few of them wrote books. Now the yeshiva came to Rabbi Chaim, alav shalom, and they told them the story. You see Rabbi Chaim putting his head down, crying as a baby. He couldn't believe his ears. He said, Giborim, Giborim. He says, who are these people that have so much koach? Mamash, you see an old man sitting on his chair, crying like a baby. And every time they showed him a book, he took the book, looking, and he's saying, these people were bichlal on the beach, and then, look what they're doing. Can you give up on a Jew? No way. Every Jew has a quality. To say one good word, you know what it can do? Whoa. I just came now from engagement, I came from engagement that somehow they went out and they booked it. And the Bachur saw me at a wedding of a friend. And he told me the story. So I was asking, who is this very nice boy? And I saw that he is a nice boy. I say, you know what? I'm going back to talk to the parents of the girl. I spoke to the Abba. I told him, tell me, are you out of your mind? Why did you let such a good boy to get out of your hands? Such a nice boy. So yeah, he's a good boy. I said, what's the matter with you? I said, good boy. My daughter said, yeah, Habibi, I'm telling you, such a sweet boy. Eidale, nice. He is not gonna hurt her. I spoke to his Rabbi. I spoke to friends. They saying very good stuff. I mean, you're gonna have a diamond. You're gonna have. What's the matter with you? So he said, okay, so what? I told him, who is the Shadchan? Tell him to get back in the middle. He should go call your daughter again. They should go out. It was another wedding. I see the boy again. I told him, no, Habibi. He said, we're going out again. I said, oh, very good. Very good. 2 days ago, I get a text with invitation for what? For a vote. A vote, engagement, the couple getting engaged. And that's why I came late a little bit. And I went there on purpose. Usually I don't have time. I went. And I saw the Khatan and the father of the Kala. I told him, no, Habibi, no tzaddik. He said, Rabbi Haimoff, thank you for the nice words that you spoke about me. I said, oh. Why can't we say nice things? How do you feel if somebody sees you on the street and tell you, you know, you have a child, such a tzaddik, you know? Yeah. Where did you see him? He said, I saw him in shul, davening. How do you feel?
Like $1 million.
If you go on the scale will tell you not 2 people in one time. You will gain so much weight, right? I can weigh 1 by 1, not 2 people in one time. So why won't we do it to other people? Tell them, nice, good things, and it will work. I see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock in Mirza Hashem. Back to Chovot Alevavot.
Very good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get back into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll go back to it. Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
good.
Very good.
Harav,
Yes.
I'll tell you a very, very quick story. My father, almost 99, had COVID. Pesach. He went to the hospital, and I thought, oh, this is dangerous. This is not good. COVID, 99 years old. I called him up when the Yontif was over. He was still in the hospital. I called him up and I said, Dad, you got to come home. I made the gefilte fish. I made the borscht. I made everything you want. You got to come home. You got to get, you got to come home. He says, yes, I'm coming home. I can't wait to have the food. So 2 days later, the doctor called me and she said, your father was sick one day and then he got better. No temperature, no nothing. I said, what medicine did you give him? No, she said, no, we didn't give him any medicine. And he came home and he's fine. It's a ness.
He's a survivor.
Yeah.
A big time survivor.
These people, they know how to fight. Oh,
yeah. Tough guy.
Very fighting. Yeah. The will, the desire to live.
Life. Yeah.
To be alive. To be alive.
They
deserve it. Yeah.
Deserve it.
For sure.
I'll see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Tomorrow night back to 9 o'clock, of course.
Yeah,
Have a good night, everybody.
Yeah.
You too,
Yeah.
Rabbi.
Nice talking to you.
Oh,
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Koyach.
Bye.
All too.
Thank you.